Welcome back to another episode of Catching Time with CQ and Chris. I'm CQ.
I'm Chris. We're here again, ready to run through a few watches with you guys. Have another great time talking about some timepieces that we think would
sir.
be a great addition to collections. And yeah, let's just roll with it, right? Let's go.
Let's jump in. Before we talk about the watches, I do want to talk about a few questions we got sent in. And I do want to shout out to everybody who supported the first video. Thank you so much.
A lot of great feedback, guys.
Yes.
We really enjoy that. Thank you so much. We got some good feedback, some good compliments, and we really look forward to keep bringing you this content. So yeah, I'm really happy to see how that went.
Exactly. It came out really, really good. And please comment questions that you want and topics you want us to see us talk about. And you can always shoot us an email as well. We're happy to talk about it on the show. So the first question that we got in is there a perfect number for a watch collection? Do you think somebody should have a limit to the number of watches in their current rotation? And this is a tricky question, very individual to everybody. So I'll let you shoot first.
Yeah, that question, the perfect number of watches. I think watches are very emotional, right? So I think for me personally, the number is around 5 for me. I know some people can get to 10. Some people take it way beyond that. And it's easy to get there, right?
Yes.
But I think for me around 5, I love to have a solid gold piece.
Yeah.
I need something like a white dial on leather for like nicer events, that kind of feel. I need a stainless steel watch that can be the beater, swimming pool, ocean, do whatever I want, very rugged. A two-tone for me will be my 5th option if I had to.
I like that.
It's not a must-have. I do want something with a pop of color, though.
Exactly. You need some variety in there.
I need a little. There's once in a while you want to have something that's a showpiece. I think that's definitely one for me as well. And I think that's about it for me. But what do you think for yourself?
I like that. I like having 5 watches. So I think you should have a number. Everybody's number is very individual, but I think you should have a number just to like have some sort of strategy or some sort of discipline, right? It makes you like look at a tray of watches.
I like how you use that word, discipline.
I mean, like, listen, we try. We try with the discipline, but we're always gonna, fudge out a little bit, and there'll always be like exceptions to the rule.
Right.
You'll see a watch that's so amazing or such a good deal, or for whatever reason just stops you in your track, and you're like your tracks, and you just I need this watch in my collection. But I think it's good to have a number. Just kind of try to give yourself a little bit, make yourself have tough decisions, right? Because maybe
because sometimes people start with that number and then they start replacing.
Exactly,
And then after you're adding on to that number. So the word discipline I think is a good one to try your best to do.
Just try, of course you could do what you want, it's your money, have fun, but it also makes it to me a little bit fun in the collecting journey because it makes you make tough decisions, right? You're like, oh, do I really want this watch?
Right.
And it to me that second question gets you into a watch that you actually wear versus a watch that maybe you just get offered a good deal or just like it just came out
there and you're not even using
6
it.
months later, and then you're calling somebody trying to sell it and you never even wore that watch. So when you get like a tough number, you're like, oh man, I didn't even enjoy this watch. Why did I even put it on the wrist? So there's always good to have a number, but you tell us, what's your number for your perfect collection or your rotation?
Yeah, I think that's something all watch collectors run into that decision one day. What is going to be my perfect number for timepieces? So
I like your idea of 5 watches and like
have, we in life we go out with the family, we go to events, we do regular daily routines, and one watch tends to. We start off saying one watch. We want one watch that does everything. It's kind of hard.
Yes.
But eventually, over time, we tend to branch out and start looking at other things. And that number is very important. Cool. What's the next one we have?
So the next one is, how should you store your watches and should you use watch winders? And this is a question I got from Tristan. So shout out to Tristan. So Tristan is a collector. He collects mainly vintage. So it started out as a vintage question. And he was like, do I have to worry about humidity and things like that? And, I think that's actually an important thing that, I don't think about that much because we sell modern watches for the
majority
part,
of our inventory.
So, things like humidity and stuff like that, we're not too worried about. But, if you're in a situation where, you know, like we're from the Caribbean. Let's say we left some watches somewhere and they might be there for an extended amount of time. Humidity and stuff like that is something to worry about for straps and things
God,
like that.
you're definitely right. I mean, some straps of like when you start even replacing straps on watches around the 80s and early 90s, when you get them from the manufacturer, sometimes they already start to fray
Oh yeah,
very
very
easily.
easy, yeah.
Because even in their conditions that they have them for storage, it's as ideal as they can.
Exactly.
But it's not. You're not getting something. You're getting buying a brand new strap that's 20 years old.
Exactly. So sometimes you get it and like you
It
see
doesn't
this in
last.
boxes
Same thing with
all the
boxes.
time. You put
You
your
know,
finger on it and you
it
peel the
starts to
whole box
peel.
off.
Yeah, the peel comes off. You know, and some people who have purchased even pre-owned watches from us that's a little older, some brands you see that. You know, and it's just the way it goes with some of these older
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember like, you know, the watches are made in Switzerland, but the boxes and all other stuff aren't, right? So like the quality control and everything
Yes.
kind of, and you know, who knows what, you know, cardboard is going to look like 20 years, 25
Exactly.
years
You're not
down the
really
line and
thinking
things
too
like that.
deeply into
Exactly.
that, but yeah.
So what do you think about watch winders? You know, that's a
So-
bigger question. I think storage is more personal. Everybody can kind of figure out how they want it to look, but watch winders, do you think today somebody needs a watch winder?
Depending on the watch. That's my answer to that right off the bat. I personally do not use a watch winder. I have multiple watches. I let them stop on their own when the power reserve is all done. I do not have a watch that has a perpetual calendar, a moon
Exactly.
phase.
Big
Those type of complications, I do think a watch winder is recommended because it's not something that you can easily reset
Exactly.
when that time comes. I mean, if you just have something that's date and time, it takes you 30 seconds.
Pick up
Hey, honey, what are we gonna do today?
Yeah.
We're gonna make some errands. We're gonna grab the kids, set the time, go. Doesn't take long. I think for that too, it's also good to let the watch rest.
Yes.
Having it running consistently, it's like your car driving around in circles while you're inside eating dinner with the family.
I love that analogy, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you'd wear it all day. You go inside and you put in the watch winder, and it's consistently running, running, running. That can make your service interval also come around quicker because it's not even wrist time. It's just running consistently. So, I personally do not use a watch winder. If you really think about it, a lot of places you go to,
You made this point yesterday, and it's
you
so
don't see a
crazy.
watch winder for sale in there.
You know, because you know, I've been in the industry for over a decade, and very seldomly have I had watch winders for sale in stores that I've worked.
Yes,
And
I think
we
it's-
sell everything, but we don't sell watch winders. I think that was such a crazy thing, and you're right because it's not a super necessary thing. You don't have to have it in cases of convenience for perpetual calendars, for high complications, especially older ones where you're gonna have to get your pusher out and do all of that. You know, some people enjoy it, but it could take a good 15, 20 minutes out of your day
Yeah,
to figure that out. You know?
It could be a bit much. And actually, the most times I've had people ask me for watch winders is because the wife's Rolex, for example, or Patek, that was automatic, like all automatics. The wife didn't want to wind the watch. She's like, honey, can you please wind this for me? I'm tired of winding this watch. The husband just gets a watch winder just for the wife's watch.
Exactly.
He enjoys winding his watch.
Yes.
But for her, for the convenience, she got the kids to pick up. I got things to do. I need to be on time. My
just
watch
wanna
needs to
grab
be
it
on
and
time.
go.
Get a watch winder for the wife. They enjoy it. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. You know, it's a very individual thing, not a necessary by any means.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to you how you want to do it, but it's out of convenience. If you want to get a watch winder, there's so many cool, fun ones. I think it's more about making your space how you want it, right?
Right,
And if you
yes.
have a nice office or den or wherever where you keep your watches, there's so many great options now.
Yes, I
you
mean
know-
the lighting in these watch winders are insane.
Yes,
the
exactly.
exhibitions, some of them are skeletonized watch winders.
Yes.
It's really, really intricate, and it's good mechanics. Everything's there. You know, it's all to give you a theme for what you're doing, for where your watches are housed, or how you have them in your home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
it's
just
pretty
because you see a big, 32 watch winder thing doesn't mean you have to get it. You know? All right, Chris, so final question of the day. What do you think about scratches on your watches and polishing? How often do you think a watch should be polished? And we're talking about, pre-owned watches, not something that you just got today, something that you had for a little bit. How often do you think you should polish your watch?
Yes, so with that one, I always go with the rule of thumb of around 8 times in its lifetime a watch can be polished and still has a lot of its luster from being original, right? Anything beyond that, now you're really getting very round edges on lugs and losing the logo on the buckle, that kind of thing. If it is, you put that into perspective, a watch should really be polished like every 8 years or so. you know, a good, that's 50 years of use, right?
Exactly, that's a
That's
good
a long
lifetime.
time. If you want to go beyond that, you can push it because you're the only one that's really seeing these scratches.
Exactly.
You're here, right?
Yes.
So no one 2 feet away is looking at your watch and like, wow, that's a really big scratch.
Yeah.
You know. So I think that's that length of time is pretty fine for me. What do you think about like regards to like the wear on the watch?
So I think, my big thing is it's a very personal thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some people are very okay with getting their watch. I've seen watches that have went through some things,
Right.
But if you're somebody who's very like, you see one scratch and you like, it just affects you so much, you should look at different finishes, right? Maybe you don't go for a high polished watch, high polished gold, precious metal watches. They just take scratches very easily. Maybe something with a satin finish, like a sports Rolex or AP, like we have today, where if you scratch it, it kind of blends in sometimes with the brush finish, so it won't like stand out to you as much,
Right, right. I agree.
So I think some people tend to polish a little too much, like you were saying, and we got to be careful where you're getting the polish, who's
Doing the polishing
polishing
exactly?
it, are they doing it? Because you made a good point that you could really do eight polishes really well if you're going to the right place, but one trip to the wrong guy, and then
No,
all the
yeah.
lugs are gone, baby. And
Now
then
you're replacing parts or
you
just
know?
looking for a whole other watch at
Exactly.
this point.
I've
So
seen some Royal Oaks and turn very circular. All the angles are gone.
no, for sure. Yes, I think it's really important. Again, who's doing your polishing? I mean, anyone who's purchased with us before always sees our watches are very as close as you can get to manufacturer specs. So we really have a good thing going there with that. And yeah, I think that's a good point. Making it work like this. So yeah, let's move on.
All right, Chris, we have some great watches to get into today. So, where you want to start? You want to start on your side or my side?
Let's start this way.
All
Let's break it
right.
up a little bit.
So today we have Yachtmaster 2 in steel. I put this on the list because I feel like the Yachtmaster 2 doesn't get talked about enough. It needs a little bit more love. And the steel to me, I love the steel, and I think I like the two-tone as well. My top two for them. But the steel is just, if you like a bigger watch, if you want a bigger Rolex, if you want something just a little bit more unique, you just don't see them out there.
I think it's really striking because one, like you said, so when it comes to the larger watches from Rolex, I mean, it's just Yachtmaster 2, Deep Seas, Sea Dwellers. Those get very industrial. This, you can dress up, dress down for a gentleman who loves a larger watch. I love the contrast as well. It's like a bleach white dial with
Yes.
that blue ceramic bezel. It pops without being ostentatious.
Exactly.
Really, really a nice finish. They did well with this watch. Center links being high polished, case being high polished as well, really gives you a little bit more luster to the watch as well. So I think, yeah, really, really great option. Something people should always put on that list when looking for something for a little larger piece.
Exactly. I always try to have people put one on the wrist because the Yachtmaster in itself is like it's a luxury submariner, right?
Yes,
So when
yes.
you look at the Yachtmaster 2, it is just like the lux level of sports watch.
And nothing else has that combination, right?
No.
With the white dial with blue bezel to give you, not to say that you're looking at one or the other. It's that and that's it.
Exactly.
So it's a really, really cool option.
And you got the regatta timer if you ever want to use it. It is a cool function and it is fun. And you can find different things to do a 10-minute comp.
Right.
So next up, this was another special piece that we have. Bulgari Diagonal in platinum. 99-piece limited edition. And I just saw this kind of on the site and I was like, what is this?
Surprised me when I picked it up, the weight of the watch.
Oh,
This
hefty.
thing is so hefty. I mean, you look at it and off the top of your mind, you're thinking, oh, it's something that's stainless, but the weight is something really, really impressive. I believe the movement as well is an El Primero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an El Primero
I'm pretty
movement in
sure, I'll
there.
confirm, but this definitely is something super special. Number 88 of 90. Of 99.
No, number 88 of 99, which we just saw before we started recording. And again, it's platinum, so it looks steel.
Right.
This is something super under the radar, super unique, and for a watch nerd, like El Primero movement, platinum watch under 10.
Under 10 grand, the price point for
It's
platinum.
crazy, and it's
Yes.
these pieces just have a unique style and bracelet and everything. Just a fun.
The minute you see the bracelet, you know what it is. For those
Exactly.
who know timepieces, I mean, that's Bulgari all day.
Exactly. It's like a fun, quirky one you don't see. So definitely a cool piece to check out.
Yep, definitely. And then we have the Patek Calatrava.
6119
6119,
G.
yep, G, in white gold. Beautiful, stunning watch.
Yes.
The dial,
It's
There's these metallic streaks on the dial. This is one of those watches that you would enjoy looping to see the
Yes.
texture of the finish of the dial. And then the bezel is called, what is it again?
So it's a hobnail bezel.
Hobnail bezel. Really, really stunning piece. And then the open case back showcases that movement that they do so well. Look at the guilloche on that. It's
Yeah, no, the brush and the guilloche,
brush
the
and finish,
movement
it's
is
stunning.
perfect.
Very low key, very slim fitting under the shirt, the cuff easily. A watch that you can put this on brown leather, put it on a burgundy leather, put it on black leather.
You have to have fun with
Diversify this
these,
watch.
you know.
Super cool.
I know a few friends who have these and they put it on so many different color straps and it makes that anthracite dial pop, and it has that beautiful brushed satin finish that we saw like in the 5235G, which is a
5235, yep.
regulator. So what I really like about the 6119G is, it is the modern progression of the 5119G, which when I started in the industry is like the entry level paddock,
Right,
beautiful 36 millimeter with the same hobnail bezel, but it was a little bit of a classic, older gentleman's watch. Let's be honest, right?
Yes.
So a bit of for the age group, I always wanted something a little bit more modern, a little bit more striking.
When they came with this, the size, the execution,
It's amazing.
Killed it.
And then just the dial alone just gives you everything you want because it feels young.
and
it
for the
feels
money
modern.
though, I mean, you're getting paddock
Yes.
like this. I mean, these are all in the mid 20s, higher 20s,
Exactly.
right there.
High
I mean,
20s trading under retail right now on the market. And again, such a versatile watch for what you
exactly. I mean, and that will fit the finish of you having that elegant piece for those evenings, or even like an office
Exactly.
setting. Great watch for the
Yeah,
money.
great day to night piece and something you should definitely get on the wrist just to try and get the
I
essence.
agree 100%. Definitely.
So what do we have next up there?
Next is the Audemars Piguet 15500 ruthenium dial.
Yeah, love this
So
dial.
I love the dial color on this thing. The shimmer that you get with so it's like, almost like a sunburst on that tapisserie. It's called
Yeah,
tapisserie.
yeah.
It's stunning. Really, really a nice piece. The open case back with the gold rotor.
Yep.
Right off the bat the 15500s with the gold rotor because it has the openings as well.
Yeah.
Really, really one of my favorites from the finish, for the bracelet, how comfortable they are.
Yes, it is
Man,
one of
for
the
a watch
best.
that's such has sharp edges
Yes.
and design and execution. I mean, it is so comfortable on the wrist.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my faves.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing about the royal look, right? It does have like those aggressive looks because it is living up to the royal look name, but on the wrist, it just feels, it hugs. Once you get it sized the right way,
Yes.
it just hugs you so well.
Joe Genta knew what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. He really did. He really did. And I love that great ruthenium dial. Everybody talks about the blue and stuff like that. But when these first start coming out, I was like, oh, well, this is the way.
The silver dial as well is really good looking.
Yes. In the metal.
And the metal,
Yes, exactly. Pictures
The
are-
ruthenium though too is I kind of lean a bit more to. I think if I was doing I would go back to this as well. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. So what do we have for our finale today?
Finale we have. Oh, this is the 116509.
Oh, 09, you're right.
09. I was about to see. What are you doing, man? 116509. White gold Daytona blue dial. These are now discontinued.
Yeah, now discontinued. To me, I think this is my favorite Daytona right now.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know. I'll just say it.
In white gold.
In white gold, yes.
For me, I agree. Certain angles, especially when the wrist is down, the blue dial looks almost black. And
Yes.
then when the light, you get that striking blue.
Exactly.
I think that watch wears really well. The size works. It goes under the radar, being white gold.
Super under the radar.
Those who know will know.
Exactly. It's a perfect those who know will know watch, but something like you could wear out and about, don't feel, there's not many eyes on it. But the blue of that dial to me is perfection.
Yes.
It just like, I don't know, I stared at this watch in many different situations in the sun, and like something about it is super captivating. Just a little touch of red on the
I was
sub
about to
dials
touch
as
on the
well.
touches of red because it's one of those that when you take it off the wrist and you start looking, you start seeing more details within the sub dials
Yes,
and everything.
exactly.
And that touch of red gives you that sportiness in that elegance of the blue. So
a lot of character. I think when the John Mayer, the yellow gold green dial, that took over.
It shouts. That's a watch that shouts.
Exactly.
And it really
so
went
people
along.
didn't really see this one too much, but I think to me, Top five
Okay,
Daytonas.
I
Top three,
agree.
top
I
three.
get that. I
We'll
get
do
that.
the top Daytona episode. We'll do that. We'll do a
We
list.
should, because I already know one of my tops right off the top of my head. But we'll get to that in another
On
episode.
the next episode.
On the next episode. But yeah, I think these are some really cool pieces that diversifies a collection if someone's looking into stuff like
Yes.
this. My eye keeps going back to that Calatrava. But yeah,
I'm telling you, something about it is mesmerizing.
yeah, I think this is just a really nice intro to some of this stuff. You guys, tell us, what do you think would be your top few pieces that would work for you? Shoot us some comments, and we would love to hear some of that feedback coming from you guys.
Yeah. Let us know. Comment below. Shoot us an email. Tell us your top Daytonas. What was the best number in watches in your perfect rotation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you on the next episode.
We appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.